Hi everyone, this is Harry Hoffman. Today is week 3, day 3, and we talk about the church corner of the pyramid of care. Church has always been sort of a difficult topic for me as a cross-cultural worker. In the early days, I thought I was sent out, but actually found out that I was blessed out. Then my home church was falling apart, and I often struggled with sermons and Bible interpretations. Obviously, it's much easier to criticize when you're sitting in the lines, but teach yourself with the same standards, it's a challenge, I know. But it might also be my struggles, might also be I'm the older part of Gen X generation, born 67. Gen X goes, I think, till 65, independent, self-sufficient. So I have a strong sense of freedom, which might not make me the perfect candidate for a church. But overall, there are a lot of benefits and support options, possibilities for the church. And I also benefited a lot from the church as a receiver, as a recipient of God. And I want to distinguish between the sending church, the local church, wherever you live, then the universal church, and also church buildings, which is maybe a European thing, but it's also an amazing resource. Let's get started. So what is church? The Greek word is ecclesia. It means community, a gathering, a congregation of believers. And Jesus declares, I will build my church. So I will build my community of believers. And there are images. Jesus uses that, the body. And also Paul in 1 Corinthians 12 uses that. The body has different parts. Jesus is the head, and each part of the body has different functions. And so as the church, as the congregation gathers together, it has a function also to support the missionaries. And the missionary out there also has a function back to the church. So let me talk about the home or sending church first of all. Being a missionary means being sent. So the sending church is sending out the missionary. And in week 2, day 5 and 6, we already spoke about serving as senders. And in week 1, day 3, I spoke about the Great Commandment and the one another's. I don't go into further detail there. Just look back at the older videos. You will learn more about this role of the church. But a sending church is sending out the missionary. And many in the congregation back home, they look up to the missionary. They are almost heroes of the church. And so the missionary is sort of looked up to. And even if they fail, even if they sort of don't make it or they don't share the great successes, at least they dare to go. And that is already priceless. So this give and take, the sending and also the missionary being part of the church and giving back by lifestyle, by being an example of somebody who follows the calling and who is obedient to the calling is priceless and really amazing. Let me talk about the local church. Many missionaries and cross-cultural workers find great support in joining a local church where they live. Maybe families also, they have Sunday schools for the kids. They find other families to connect with from other nationalities. And you also get teaching, and which gives you spiritual input and sort of direction like a compass. There are also resources in the church like pastors, prayer teams, counseling in the church, or even confession where people can go to and ask for prayer. That's also member care. Where people can receive something, and the church has these kind of resources. And you also have the church calendar, especially when you live in another nation that has another religious calendar. Joining the Christian congregation where you have the church calendar can give you safety and comfort, and you just feel a certain level of home with other brothers and sisters. That can be such a source of freshness and comfort and safety. Part of the local church is also the small groups and prayer groups. I've always been part of small groups. I really enjoyed those. They are small, they are personal, you can share heart to heart, you can listen to each other, you can pray for one another, so it's much more house church kind of like cell group house church. And I've been to men's group, I've been to family gatherings, smaller ones with 7, 8 people, and prayer groups. And that has been a big positive source of member care for myself. I remember in my crisis year, there was a house church that invited me to join, and I told them I'm not in any position to give anything, to share anything, and I don't want to be asked any questions. And they said, yeah, that's fine for us. Just join us. That's why we are here for, what we are here for. So I joined them Sunday after Sunday, and I was just there, and I was soaking in their family environment. It was a house church in people's homes. I was soaking in the love, in the meals they prepared, in the appreciation, in the prayers, in their spiritual input as well. And that was like gold. It was like, wow, I find a safe haven here where I belong, where I can be without pretending, without working, without preparing anything. I can be refreshed and lick my wounds, so to speak, while I'm embedded in a loving environment. And I will never, ever forget this group. And I thank them forever that they invited me to join. Awesome guys. Then there is the global church, the universal church. And out on the mission field, denominations don't matter so much. You hang out, you gather with Mennonites, with Baptists, with different Korean denominations. And you have Jesus in your heart, and you go. It's like you are just together. You support each other. You pray for one another. And I've been around the world quite a bit in different nations, and wherever I go, I feel like I belong. And that's a sense of belonging, a sense of support that is more emotional, less practical, but it's and the church building I also want to talk about. That might be a European thing, but I've been to Barcelona, the Basilica of the Sacred Family, and I've been to St. John's Cathedral in Malta. I've been to cathedrals in Rome and England and Germany and Prague. And I still remember the Barcelona Basilica of the Sacred Family. It's like you sit there and it's divine. I cannot put that in words. You sit in a church building. I know that God is not in buildings. I know that. But there is something about the history of Christianity. There's something in this place of worship that that really touched me when I was sitting there. The same in Malta, St. John's Cathedral there. I was hiking once, and I passed by a little chapel that was in the European Alps, and I felt sort of the Spirit was calling me to go into the chapel. So I did that, and it was a small little church chapel kind of building, and I went in and I saw Jesus at the hand of his father Joseph. So Joseph and Jesus maybe 6 years old, 5, 6 years old, holding his father's hands. And I saw that and I immediately started to cry. So it was the art in the church, the sculpture, that the Holy Spirit really spoke to me and says, I have you. Harry, I got you. It's like the Holy Spirit telling you, Harry, I got you. I have you at my hand. I will not let go of you. I will lead and guide you, and I will give you a future that I have prepared for you. And that was so comforting. And so I wouldn't push churches totally away, the church building. The Spirit of God works through all sorts of buildings and influences, and that is a testimony that I keep dear in my heart. Yeah, so this is the church corner of the Pyramid of Care. I hope there are different aspects in there for you, from sending church, the local church, the universal church, and even the church building. And tomorrow we will talk about the people helper, and you're probably curious what that's all about. What is the people helper? I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.